How are you doing today, Madam Speaker?
Well, we're happy that he's getting such a beautiful send-off. We're sad that we'll be losing him. I served with him for 33 years in the Congress. He's my dear friend. But all of us consider this a death in the family.
Do you think that his vision is realized in what we still see on the streets of so many cities, these protests after the murder of George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter memorials popping up around this country in New York City and Washington? And does it make his mission, does it make this election more urgent to you?
Well, of course, this election is urgent for many reasons, but what we're talking about here is our democracy. And what John Lewis was always about was a more perfect union, about bringing people together. So, yes, this is a continuation of his values to see these young people out on the street. He knew that his work was not done. That more needed to be done. And that's why I was so happy that he went. The last thing he did, action he took when he left Washington, D.C. several weeks ago, he left the hospital. He went to Black Lives Matter Plaza, met the mayor of Washington there, and then his picture is there looking to the future. There he is, John Lewis, standing on the Black Lives Matter tapestry. It was a connection from when he was here speaking in 1963 at the March on Washington, and then passing the torch on to the future.
I want to ask you about this standoff, really, with the White House and with Republicans over unemployment help for so many Americans who are still out of work, with really no sign of that changing anytime soon as the pandemic is spiking in most parts of this country. How is that going? And people are really scared. Can you reassure them?
You know, people are very scared. I said John's loss was like a death in our family. Well, nearly 150,000 families in our country have had a death in the family. Over 4 million people have been infected by this virus. We must defeat the virus if we're going to open our economy and open our schools. In the meantime, children are food insecure. Millions of children are hungry. Many people cannot pay their rent, some of them single moms. Families are going to have their unemployment insurance expire. And what did the Republicans, 10 weeks ago, 2.5 months ago, we passed a bill, the HEROES Act, to improve that situation. The Republicans said then they need a pause. Now they still have not produced anything. We'll see this afternoon what they come up with. But what they describe it as is piecemeal. You can't. People are hungry. They need rent. They need unemployment insurance. Our state and local governments need the assistance that they deserve and need because of coronavirus. Again, testing. The president said he's going to do everything he can not to have testing in the bill. How about that? I mean, what did they say in the White House? Don't let science stand in the way of sending our kids to school. What is this? So anyway, let's just find our common ground. This morning, I issued a challenge to the administration. I said within a half an hour of their putting forth their proposal, I want to see them in the Speaker's office with Chuck Schumer there as well, so that we can compare our bills and see, and I think it will be a contrast, but nonetheless, to see where we can find our common ground. Again, how can you say, let's have trickle down? Let's have trickle down when people are hungry and again, food uncertain, rent uncertain, no money in their pockets. Our bill, the HEROES Act, it honors our heroes, state and local government, teachers, healthcare workers, food suppliers, sanitation workers, transportation workers, and the rest. Attacks the virus, testing, tracing, treating, distancing, therefore opening our economy, and third, puts money in the pockets of the American people. not by trickle down, but by bubble up.
I just want to understand where things stand right now and where you're willing to go. They have proposed $200 a week. You are holding at $600 a week. Do you see a compromise, or are you going to hold the line?
Well, let's just put it this way. I mean, I just leave it up to the American people. There are trillions of dollars being used now by the Fed and our government to bolster the stock market. Stock market's in good shape, right? And that may be a good idea. Why can't we spend trillions of dollars to bolster the middle class? So when they talk about what they're talking about, we're like, why are you quibbling over $600 when people need that to buy food, pay the rent, and again, inject demand into the economy by spending that money, inject demand, create jobs. When they fire these state and local government employees, they're going on unemployment insurance. So where is the savings in all of that? We are at a place. There is a big difference between trickle down and bubble up. And the difference between the two parties in this is drastic. Let's put that all aside and see if we can't find our common ground in this emergency. But let us do so respecting science, respecting meeting the needs of the American people, and understanding that our economy grows when we have consumer confidence, not when we just say, let's just bolster the top end, but not worry about the middle class.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.